it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys all of the dining reservations that our family has made for our big family trip in January, and I can't wait to share it with you because there's some good stuff on that list. So I recorded a video, a couple months ago, just kind of about what we were hoping to get for our dining reservations when our 180-day window came up. And I was down here in the basement at whatever time it opens. I think it's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Ready to go, even though I knew that none of the places that we wanted were particularly hard to get into. When you have a family of 5, it can be tricky to get certain reservations. So I for sure wanted to make sure that I was, ready to go. I had my ADRs all lined up. This trip is going to be 5 nights in January. I'm actually staying longer, but the whole family will be there for 5 nights and 6 days. Lots of exciting things planned. We'll be staying at Old Key West, which is our DVC home resort, and we absolutely love it. We'll be in a 2-bedroom. We do not do the Disney dining plan, and if you're curious as to why, I will put a link to my video right here where I went into all the reasons that we don't do the Disney dining plan. You can read the comments where I got a lot of hate for that, but not hate. I had a lot of people disagree with me, but that's okay. You can disagree with me all day long. I don't have a problem with that. But for us, it just doesn't really work out. And because we'll be in a 2-bedroom villa with a full kitchen, we will be doing almost all of our breakfasts in the room with one notable exception. And we will be doing a lot of snacks and even sometimes lunch in the room. So dining plan just doesn't really work for us. But what we do enjoy at least once a day as a family is a sit-down meal. We have done trips where we have not done that, where we've just done counter service. And I really miss that experience of us all slowing down, sitting down together, especially as the boys have grown up. And I mean, now they're adults. They may go off and do their own thing during the day, but it's nice to know we're all going to come back together either for a big lunch or for an evening meal. And I'm really excited to share with you what we picked and why. So the first thing on the list that everybody wanted that we were able to get was Skipper Canteen for dinner. Now these are a little bit out of order, but that's actually what we're doing on our final night. We love it there. I realize the restaurant is kind of a sleeper, but I knew we wanted to end our final night. We typically end in the Magic Kingdom. It's just kind of a big ta-da. We stay as late as it's open, even if it's extra magic hours, and just kind of soak in all that, last minute magic. Mama usually tears up a little bit because y'all, even though I go to Disney World a lot, I only go with my family once a year typically, where we're all together. And all of the moms and dads out there get this. When you are together with all 3 of your children and your spouse and everybody's in one place, there's nothing like it. And as they're growing up, I more and more appreciate that. I don't know how many trips we have like that. I will welcome my my daughter-in-laws and all of that is going to be amazing. But right now, I still am liking the OG 5, right? When we can all 5 be together and have our vacations where we will fight and someone will get mad at someone and dramatic things will happen. But you know what? They're mine. They're not perfect, but they're mine. So the next reservation that I was able to get was for Beer Garden. And this will actually be on our arrival night. I love going to Epcot on arrival day. I find that it's one of those places where it's not quite as stressful. You can be a little bit more chilled out. We are driving this trip, so I wasn't concerned about us not getting there. We'll leave super early in the morning. This is a dinner reservation. It's going to be January, so it should be on the cooler side. And boy, there's just something about a big old German buffet on a cold January night with my family. So we adore Beer Garden. I have been going to Beer Garden. What year did Epcot open? Anyway, I've been going to Beer Garden for a long time and we love it. Even as a vegetarian, I love it. There's always great options for me. On our Hollywood Studios day, we had to do lunch at SciFi. We actually have 2 days at Hollywood Studios because of Galaxy's Edge and all of the things that we wanted to do there. So SciFi Lunch is a just must do for our family, and we always do it around 11 or 11:30. That is one restaurant that the waits do tend to get long even when you have an ADR, which is also a restaurant that is impossible to get into for the most part without an ADR. which stands for advanced dining reservation, by the way. But even when you have one, you can tend to wait a while for your table here. So we like to do it really close to their opening time. So that one is actually at 11:15. We were able to get 50's Primetime Cafe, and we are going there for dinner. Love 50's Primetime Cafe. It's one of those places that my kids always request whenever we go to Walt Disney World. We were able to grab a Garden Grill reservation for breakfast, a pre-park opening breakfast at, I believe it's at 8:05 a.m. at Epcot, which interestingly is... I've not done that particular reservation before. We used to do Crystal Palace before they changed the opening procedure so that we didn't have that crush of people getting into Magic Kingdom. And for me, that has less to do with crowds. Or, I'm sorry, it has less to do with waiting in line and more to do with I really don't like when everybody's like crushed in waiting for rope drop. So by having an early breakfast reservation, we can kind of stroll in. Now, what I will say is I'm not sure all 5 of us are going to end up showing up for that reservation because, you know, my boys may not want to get up at the crack of dawn, but at least one of us, I'm going to be there for breakfast. So you may not know this, but if you have a reservation, if at least one person in the party shows up, you don't have to pay a cancellation. So sometimes, you know, maybe the reservation is for 4 or 5, but only a couple of you can make it. As long as somebody shows up, Disney's not going to charge you. So that's a really good tip. Another really good tip if you need to cancel a reservation at the last minute is modify the reservation to 2 or 3 days out and then cancel it. And I don't feel like that's breaking the rules. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a rule breaker, but I actually think it's complete nonsense that Disney charges you to cancel your reservation. I know why they do it, but those of us, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're not just willy-nilly making reservations to take up space. You're making it because you do intend to go, but if at the last minute you decide not to go, try to modify it for 2 or 3 days later and then cancel the one that's 2 or 3 days later. If someone is ill or something like that and you call, Disney is always great about it. But I mean, you know, you're on vacation. Who has time to call Disney and set on hold? And by the way, anyway, don't get me started on the money if you cancel a reservation. It just makes no sense to me. But, you know, that's just me. And then lastly, we do have lunch scheduled at the Plaza on our long Magic Kingdom day. That is just one of those little spots, especially again, because we're not on the dining plan. It is a really good value. The Plaza is actually not that much more than a counter service restaurant. You do have to tip, so it does make it a little bit more, but to just get out of the parks and have that peace and quiet, it's a smaller restaurant. I really enjoy the food there. You know, it's nothing spectacular, but it's a sweet place to just spend some time, and we always go to the Plaza for lunch. So this is literally everything that they requested. I was able to make a reservation for. So I had no issues getting any of my dining. Now, granted, this is not until January, but I always get excited once that's done. And I feel like, okay, check and check. The next big thing that we will need to do for our planning process is make our Fast Pass reservations. And that won't come up until November. But I'm already looking at that whole tier thing at Hollywood Studios, and y'all, it just gets exhausting. Having just been at Disneyland and using Max Pass and having that be so easy to navigate and so simple to use, the Disney World Fast Pass system kind of wears me out a little bit, I'm going to be honest, but we will figure it out, and I have no doubt we'll get to ride everything we want to ride. And one of the big advantages of being Disney Vacation Club members is if we don't get to do particular things, we're really just not worried about it because we know our family is going to have a great time no matter what. Okay, so one more thing down for our planning for this trip. Again, even though I go a lot, my family trips are still, they just swoon worthy, and I cannot wait to take my family and have all of these great meals together. Are any of the places that I named on your must dine list? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do so. I hope you're having a great day. I'll see you next time. Be good to each other. Bye-bye.